Hi guys, it's Sahara. I'm back with my August wrap-up video. I'm going to start this video off sharing with you what sold at the end of August for me first, and then I will show you like the total sales for the month, the total expenses, and what my profit was at the end. So stay tuned if you enjoy that part, but I figured I'd go ahead and share some sales with you first. So it has been pretty slow for me. Like the end of August was honestly like some of the slowest sales I've had in months. I know why that is. I started homeschooling this past month and I've just been a little bit distracted and not as just not putting as much work into my resale business, and that shows. So that's just something to keep in mind. It happens to all of us at times. We're all going through different seasons in life, and that's perfectly okay. So I just want to share that and be honest with you guys so that you know when you go through it yourself, it's okay. We all have those seasons of life where we're not able to put as much into our business, and it shows. But the other side of that is that we can see clearer the impact doing those daily listings has, putting that work in every day has. So when you are grinding and you are doing it, you know it has a purpose, you know it's going to bring value to your business, and you're going to see more sales from every bit of work that you do. So with that said, let's get right into it. The first sale I have is this Nike tank top in a size small. I usually probably wouldn't pick something up like this because they just don't sell very well, but this was new with tags. I found it in the bins. It was super lightweight and it sold in just a couple weeks for $10. So that was a good sale. Another bin's find here, this fossil kind of lilac-y purple leather purse, very cute. This sold for $22.99 on eBay, and I think it took like a month, maybe 2 months to sell, so pretty reasonable. Okay, another Chico's sale, since some of you asked. This is just like a basic Chico's top in a size 3, which is an extra large. I think this came from the bins and it sold for $14 on eBay. Okay, another bins shoe sale. These little Cole Haan leather combat boots came from the bins probably less than a month ago, and they sold for $25. And these were a pretty unique style, so I don't know if that helped them sell faster or not. But yeah, they sold pretty quickly, which I was happy about. It's probably also just a sign that boots are starting to sell for fall, so definitely keep your eye out for those styles. Okay, this is another one. I almost was starting to give up on Soft Surroundings because I used to think it was such a great brand, but then it just kind of slowed down a lot for me. But I've realized that like with many brands, the plus sizes in this brand, and the bigger the size, the better and the faster it's gonna sell. I picked this up at a regular Goodwill for $5.99, and it sold literally in just a couple of days for $25. And the last month I picked up a soft surrounding top in a size 1X, and it had the exact same results. So I would definitely recommend looking for more like the plus sizes in this brand if you're paying up for them, or if you don't mind sitting on them, then I would still pick up a lot of stuff in this brand in the smaller sizes if you're getting a good enough price on it. Okay, this Winnie Layers brand is like a home shopping network brand, but it actually has a pretty good following. I got like a whole box of brand new stuff from this brand a few months ago in like an estate sale lot, and I have sold like almost all of it. It performed really well for me. They don't go for a lot. I would say like $15 to $20 on average, but I would definitely still maybe keep an eye out for this brand at the bins. And yeah, I was actually pretty impressed with the results from it. So just wanted to share that. Okay, this is a brand I've been really liking finding. It's called Alukai. I didn't know about this brand for a really long time. It has this very distinctive little like fish hook almost looking symbol that you can look out for. And I've sold multiple styles in this brand, from leather flip-flops to like these loafers. And they all sell really well, and they usually sell for like $30 to $40. So definitely keep an eye out for this brand. I got these ones from the bins, and they sold in literally just a few days. Okay, this was a fun sale. I had it listed for more, but like I said, sales have been really slow, guys. So I have been accepting offers. I had this listed for $49 and I accepted an offer for $28 on it. It is like a vintage 50s nightgown with this really beautiful like flower detail up here. I love picking up nightgowns, and especially like vintage ones if they have like a really tiny little tag like this, that's usually a good sign that it's a vintage one, and they can be worth more, or they just perform better in general. I would definitely check the comps unless you're like at the bins, and then I think it would be safe to just grab them and throw it in your cart if they're in good condition. Okay, the next thing to sell for me was this Bob Mackie top. I found a couple of these lately in the plus sizes. This is extra large, so not necessarily plus size, but it still performed really well. It sold literally in like 2 days for me for about $25, I think, on an offer. Okay, one of my favorite Croc styles to pick up. These weren't even in perfect condition, but just this little like cutout style flat or the cutout style like strappy sandals. These have a really good following and they usually sell really fast for me for around $20, maybe even $30 depending on the style. So yeah, these are like a definite pickup for me and I find them at the bins super often. Okay, these just an example of some Free People jeans that sold for me pretty fast. These sold in just like 2 weeks. I think I paid like $5 for them or $5.99, and I did accept an offer for 21 on these. But just the flare jeans and like the, I guess you'd say, bell bottom in some styles, those seem to be performing pretty well from Free People in comparison to maybe some of their other, like if you picked up skinny jeans from them, I don't think those would perform well at all. So just keep that in mind that the style of the jeans matters a lot right now, and flare jeans seem to be doing really well from Free People. Okay, next up was some J. Jill jeans. These are just the Weekender straight leg jeans by J. Jill in a size 12, which is a great size to look for. I picked these up for $5.99 at the regular Goodwill, and they sold in just like a week or less for my full asking price. So I've definitely been keeping an eye out for J. Jill jeans, especially if they're in a good size. Next up was my first time finding this brand. It's called The Great, and it's actually a brand sold at Revolve. And I found this at like a thrift store that was going out of business sale, so I paid only $1 for it. I'd never heard of the brand. I didn't have time to check the comps, but I just went off of the style of the tag and stuff. I thought that it looked like a nice higher end brand. It was 100% cotton. Those were the factors I looked for, and then when I got home I found out it was a really great brand, and this sold pretty quickly for me for $35, so that was a good sale for sure. Okay, next I have a vintage Coach bag. The way you can tell the vintage Coach bags is they have a very distinctive like leather exterior. A lot of them have the little turn lock closures, and then the inside will be lined with like suede and like genuine leather pockets and stuff, genuine leather where the crease is, and it's kind of just stamped into the actual bag. So yeah, I am always on the lookout for these. Actually, I bought this one from an estate sale. I'm not exactly sure what I paid for. I think like $20 to $30, but I actually used this bag for myself for like 6 months. So I definitely got my money out of it because I used it for myself for a while. Absolutely loved it. But it's kind of heavy, like just on its own. It was heavy, and I was just like kind of needed the money, so I was like, I'll just sell this bag and use a cheaper one. I don't need a Coach bag for myself. So yeah, I sold it, and it sold in like a month or two of listing it for $70. I could have held out for more probably, but I was happy with that, especially since I got to use it for a while and stuff. So yeah, but definitely keep your eye out for these vintage Coach bags. They hold a lot more value than just your regular everyday Coach bag you might find. Okay, next up was this formal dress. It is by the brand La Femme. I found this at the bins, and I'm a little hesitant with formal dresses, but this looked like a really nice quality one, like a pretty modern style. And it was a really small size, a size 4, but it turns out these dresses from La Femme retail for over $600. And they're just a beautiful dress and very high end material and style. So I was able to find the stock photos, which I think helped a lot. And yeah, so I was actually pretty impressed that this sold in like a month or less because I honestly thought I'd be sitting on it for a while. So when I got the offer for 40, I was very happy with that and accepted. So yeah, they don't sell for a lot, but I do think that if you found very beautiful styles like this from this brand, that you could definitely flip them. Okay, next thing to sell is some more flare jeans. These are like my favorite to find from American Eagle is their high-rise flare jeans, especially if they're in the newer line, Next Level Stretch. But even the older flare jeans from American Eagle, like the artist style and stuff, perform really well for me. I can usually get $20 to $25 for them. So for that reason, I'm usually okay with paying $5 at the thrift store for them, even because I know they will sell fast. These I paid $5 for at the thrift store, and they sold literally in just a couple of days for $20. So quick flip there. Okay, the next thing, this is just a little jersey I found at the bins, and this sold pretty fast for $24 on Poshmark, and it was a kid's jersey, so I would say that's pretty good. If I'm at the bins and I find a jersey, I will just grab it because it's so cheap there. I'm sure I'll be able to sell it. If I was at the regular thrift store, I'd look them up, but I have had pretty good luck lately selling a few jerseys I found, mostly from the bins. So I definitely will be looking up more jerseys and keeping an eye out for that because there is definitely a following for them and they're very expensive if you want to buy them new. So there's definitely a market for secondhand. I sold this beautiful vintage Dooney and Burke bag for $35 on Poshmark. I definitely could have held out for more on it, but like I said, sales have been slow and I need to keep them up with my business. I can't just hold out for everything to try to get the most and have like no income. So I was fine taking the offer for this because I found it at the bins, so definitely still made a great profit on it. Great. Next up, just an example of like a small like bins pickup kind of sale. I pick up these Skechers kids shoes pretty often. These ones sold for 10 on Poshmark, so I only made $7.05 off of them. But these are super lightweight and cheap for me at the bins. They probably cost less than $1. Probably about $1 for these, so I don't mind picking them up, and they usually sell pretty fast for me. And I usually get about 10 to 15 for them on eBay. Okay, next thing, just another simple bins pickup just to show you guys that a lot of the bread and butter of my business are like $10 to $15 sales. I do those a lot, honestly, whether it's items that I was hoping to get more for and I wind up getting that, or it's just things that I know will sell fast and that are lightweight and that my cost of goods was so low. I don't mind picking up those items. I don't think there's anything wrong with selling items for that price point. Maybe your business model is different, but for me, I don't mind at all. So this is just a Mississippi State hat. I had picked up a couple Mississippi State like shirts and pants and stuff in the past couple months, and I realized I had a pretty good sell-through rate. So when I saw this hat at the bins, I grabbed it, and like with this, I probably had $1 or less into it, and it sold for $10 on Poshmark in just a few weeks. Okay, next item is these Hoka athletic sneakers. I'm trying to remember. I think these came from the bins. Yeah, they did. And they were in pretty decent shape for Hokas. And I was really happy when they sold for my full asking price on Poshmark for $62. I love finding Hokas. And a lot of times on my bins, people pass on them for whatever reason. I mean, the bottoms of these were definitely worn, but they still sold just fine. And the buyer was happy with them. Okay, next up I have a couple Mercari sales. I sold this Old Navy maxi dress, like cottagecore, floral, puff sleeve style, and this sold for $22 on Mercari. This came from the bins. I definitely like picking up Old Navy stuff in the bigger sizes or just more substantial pieces like this maxi dress. I only pick it up at the bins though, let me make that clear. But yeah, from the bins, I will absolutely pick up Old Navy stuff. I'm a little bit wary on like their jeans. They haven't performed quite as well for me, and the shorts too. But the tops and plus sizes and dresses, I usually can flip from the bins. Okay, next up was this Athleta, like gray, long sweater dress. This was a wool blend, very nice sweater. This came from the bins and it sold for $30 on Mercari on an offer I received. And this took just a few weeks, maybe a month to sell. And it did have some minor like pilling and stuff, but I think I was able to get most of it off with a sweater shaver. Okay, the next item was some men's American Eagle khaki shorts. I shared these because this is something I probably would have passed on like a year ago or so, but I've heard recently that a lot of these American Eagle and Abercrombie shorts like this, even the cargo shorts that I would definitely think aren't really in style and stuff or weren't in style for a long time, they actually sell pretty well. So these came from the bins and they sold for 20 bucks on Mercari in probably just a couple of weeks, I think. Okay, now a couple not so great sales. This is something I had for a really long time. This Zella mesh athletic top. I really don't know much of anything about this brand, and I don't think I've ever picked it up again since this time. So let me know maybe if this isn't as horrible of a brand, and maybe this was just a horrible piece by them or something. But I had this for so long, and it finally sold for $3.74 on eBay, and it did come from the bins, so I still probably made a dollar or two. But yeah, just definitely would not be picking up this brand or style again unless it turns out that this was just like an oddball and the brand's actually all right. Okay, next up was this Free People dress I found. I don't know, maybe I should have made the stock photo, like the first photo, and it would have done better. I'm not sure. I found this a while ago at a regular Goodwill. I paid like $5 for it, so I really didn't make any profit. I probably lost a little bit of money actually on it. And it only sold for $5.45 on eBay. This was just sitting a while, and I marked down a bunch of stuff in my shop to 40% off as like a end of summer sale, and I threw this one in there and then it finally sold. So honestly, I'm just glad to move it and make room for new inventory that will perform better. But this is definitely just a reminder that don't pick up everything Free People. Don't get excited about everything Free People because it is very hit or miss with that brand. Okay, the next thing that is in the bad sales, these are some Timberland gray, like athletic hiking pants. I picked these up so long ago. They were in a men's extra, extra large. I remember when I found these, I was so new to reselling. I was so excited about these. I assumed because they were Timberland, they were going to do good. I don't actually think clothes from Timberland perform that well. I think you definitely mostly want their boots and shoes. But yeah, I was so new to reselling. I did not know. I've literally had these for like 2 or 3 years, and they finally sold for $6. You know what's crazy about this? This is one of those times where I've had them so long, they finally sell for $6 on eBay. And like the next day, somebody was like sending me an offer for them on Mercari. I was like, what? Like I've had these listed for so long, no interest in them. And now all of a sudden they sell on one platform and somebody wants them on another. Like, I know we've all had that happen and it makes literally no sense. You're just like dumbfounded, like, how? Why? All right, so that's all the sales. So let's break down what I made this month. So my sales after shipping and fees on all platforms was about, I say about because there may be a couple refunds that I didn't subtract from this number or just various other things. It was about $5,687.74. And this month I spent $1,368.35 on inventory. That number was a little bit lower because, like I said, I was working my business a little bit less. I also had several days I was working through my death pile last month. So yeah, that definitely contributed to it being a little bit lower, which was good since my sales were lower this month. I spent $25 on Poshmark VA, which is a Chrome extension that shares my Poshmark closet for me, relist items for me, sends offers for me. It is just super helpful with my business. And I know a lot of resellers on YouTube talk about Poshmark VA, and you might be like me, like how I was for a long time, and think like, oh, I don't need that. That's not really that useful. But I finally tried it out a couple months ago and I actually love it. I was using another share, like a Chrome extension to share items before, and Posture VA is so much faster than that Chrome extension was. That was free. It's called Flip. And so if you're on a budget, I still recommend Flip, of course, but it just is nowhere near as fast as Posture VA, and it does not have as many options and stuff for you to, control what it shares or what it sends offers on. So that's why I love Posture VA. And for $25, that's less than $1 a day. So if it even brings you one sale a day, it pays for itself. Okay, so the next thing that I pay for is List Perfectly, which is a cross-listing service. you can use to help you cross list your items quickly. There is another one that you can use through Flip that is free, and I will link Flip below for anyone who wants to try it out. But personally, I just don't like the setup of that cross lister. So for me, for like efficiency in my business, I prefer to just pay the $49 a month to use List Perfectly. Okay, the next thing is I pay $59 every month to have my eBay store. If you are just starting out and you don't have very many listings, you may be able to get away with just using the free store for a while, but I have over 1,500 listings, so just paying for that level of eBay store is perfect for me, and I never have to worry about running out of listings. And then the next thing that I spent was $52 this month on miscellaneous supplies like shipping supplies and stuff. And so my net profit before taxes obviously was $4,133. Definitely my lowest month in a while, but I know why and I know what to do in order to make the next month and this last quarter of the year better than this for sure. And so I'm really excited to hopefully get like just back in the swing of having daily listing goals and just sourcing more consistently and finding out a way to balance my resale business with my other responsibilities as a stay-at-home mom, a homeschooling mom, all those things just better so that I can get my sales up and be able to maintain them at a level I'm happy with, because I'm not happy with this number. I'm not happy with the big drop in sales this month, but I know that we all go through seasons of life at times where that's necessary and just going to happen, and that's perfectly okay. So it just motivates me to do better. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope sharing some of the sales helped you. And I hope that if you are also, going through a dip in sales in your business, that you will just use that to motivate you to do what you know you need to do to increase your sales once more. So thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. It helps me out a lot. And please subscribe to my channel to see some more content. I hope you have a blessed day, and I hope your resale business is so blessed as well.